this live Q&A, we're going to talk about chargebacks. This is one of the bumps on the road that we have to deal with as e-commerce business owners. And chargebacks are something, well, if you don't know what it is, you're going to learn in just about a minute. But once again, running a business is not always 100% smooth sailing. And if you want to succeed, you have to learn how to deal with these bumps on the road. And that is exactly what we're going to go over in this podcast. So, Ariel, hello. Thank you for joining us. How are you doing today?
Hey, Liran, I'm fine. Thank you so much for hosting me. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. Let's get the show on the road and help people learn how to deal with chargebacks and how to maximize our profitability, even if we have to deal with this 1 to 2%, I would say. But it's a part of the business and we're here to profit. And when we're making sales on our e-commerce stores, no matter if we are drop shipping or even selling from our own inventory, this is something that, once again, we have to deal with. So let's get the show on the road and let people understand what is the best way to deal with chargebacks and how to maximize our profitability, even if we have to send refunds every now and then. So let's take it from the top. Ariel, what is a chargeback?
Chargeback is a result of a reverse transaction made by the consumer who purchased any product at any store. It could be online or at a retail store. And instead of canceling the charge with the merchant, he actually reversed the charge with the bank. It can cause because a few reasons. The customer believes that he won't receive any assistance from the merchant, or it can cause because of an intentional fraud. A fraudster who stole a credit card, who made the purchase, and then the real card holder recognized the charge that was not supposed to be charged on his card statement, and he's calling the bank to cancel the charge.
Okay, got it. So that pretty much also answers our next question of why do chargebacks occur? But do you have any more examples on why they occur and also how do chargebacks work?
So yeah, pretty much it's the same, but they work in a way where Visa, Mastercard, and different card scheme they develop a specific method, a dispute resolution system, where a merchant and a card holder could actually communicate with them to resolve disputes. And there is also a regulation in the US on Visa and Mastercard where they must implement a chargeback service for their clients. The reason being is that Visa and Mastercard and the different card scheme they need to have a way to control merchants and the card holders. They need to understand if there is a fraud on a card or if there is a merchant who's fraudulating and making suspicious activities in order to actually steal money from customers. Um, just to get a sense, American Express, for example, they pay the bank who lets the merchant process within 180 days the actual cash they should receive. But the bank is giving the money to the merchant. It could be within 1 or 2 days, and it could be within 30 days.
Got it. Okay. And hello to everyone who's just joining the live Q&A right now. This is a live Q&A session on chargebacks and how to deal with them for your dropshipping business, for your e-commerce business. So if this is something that you guys are dealing with, let me know in the chat below. And of course, drop your questions because in the second half or in the last part of this live, we're going to answer your questions personally. So let us know if this is a situation that you guys have to deal with, and we will help you to the best of our ability. Okay, Ariel, my next question. What is the difference between a chargeback and a refund?
Okay, so the actual there are a few definitions for that, but there is a lot of difference between them. So a refund is a process where a merchant is uh, giving the customer the money back upon a request or because there is any intention to do that. With a chargeback, the merchant doesn't choose to provide that refund. It's being forced upon them. So there is no way they can prevent it from happening if it's a friendly fraud. But if it's a real fraud, they can prevent it. And we'll talk about it a bit later.
Okay. So refunds are something that we as merchants, as sellers, have control over, and chargebacks are something that can be enforced upon us whether we like it or not. So this brings us to our next question. Are chargebacks legal? Like, can any customer open a chargeback just because they want to? And is it a legal practice?
It is illegal, but the problem is that consumer, they take advantage of that system to get free product, and it's not something that happens once in a while. It happens every day in thousands and with millions as well. So it could cause, due to the regulation that makes it so easy to do that. You can just open a chargeback in your credit card application you have, or you can log into your bank and dispute the transaction. You can also call the bank and get your money back. And it's that easy. You don't need to handle any privacy policy for a different type of retailers that you purchase from them. So it's really easy to do that. So it is legal, but people taking advantage of it. And
So who is eligible to request chargebacks and disputes? Is it everyone? All of our customers can do it?
yeah, so any card holder, any user that have a bank account, any user that have PayPal account can do that. They can open a dispute directly from PayPal or from different payment facilitators that provide that ability. And this gives them the confidence that they can just purchase anything online, and then if something happens, they can just dispute the transaction, no matter the consequences the merchant are experiencing later on.
Got it. Okay. Once again, hello to everyone who's joining the live Q&A session right now. I'm having it with Ariel, the CEO and founder of Chargeflow. We're going to get to that soon. And now we're talking in this live event about chargebacks and how to handle them, disputes and cases and all of those things that, while we don't love it, this is the 1 to 2% of our business, and we'll have to know how to deal with it. So, of course, we're going to dive deeper inside. If you have any questions, any comments about chargebacks, about anything that has to do with refunds, disputes, and the whole world that evolves around that, let us know in the chat box below. For now, we are going to continue this live session. Okay, so we understand that pretty much anyone who orders from our e-commerce stores, they can simply open up chargebacks for whatever reason, and we are going to have to learn to deal with them. And I'm guessing that it can work with any payment option, like you mentioned. It can work with PayPal, it can work with credit cards. And as you mentioned, Visa and MasterCard and big credit card companies like those, they have a policy where they have like this rule or policy where they have to give chargeback services. They have to offer chargeback services. So there is no way for us to really prevent it. It really depends on our buyers, and for whatever reason they want to open up these chargebacks. I'm guessing the only way that they cannot open chargebacks is if we're working with cash on delivery, because if you paid with cash, then I mean you don't have any facility or any service in between that can actually help you with that. But besides that, I'm guessing you can open up chargebacks on pretty much anything through your bank, credit card, PayPal, Payoneer, which is eBay's new method of handling managed payments, and so forth. Okay, so now that we know that pretty much anyone can open up a chargeback dispute, and we know that they work in pretty much every payment option that's available out there except for maybe cash, what selling channels that we as sellers that we sell on, whether it's eBay, Shopify, WooCommerce, Wix, and all of the selling channels that we have available today, Amazon and so forth, can we as sellers get chargeback and dispute requests on all of these selling channels, or are there only specific channels where they can do it?
Yeah, so that's a good question. If you're using a marketplace, for example, eBay, if you're using Amazon, AliExpress, any type of marketplace, and as a seller, you're selling products, so a chargeback usually is handled by the marketplace itself, but you will get an after effect of a chargeback and a dispute from that. So if it's a fraud, Amazon will take care of that for you, so you won't be a victim of fraud as a merchant. They'll suffer it, or they will lose that money. They will try to fight it and mitigate it because it's not your problem. You're not responsible for the payment. In Amazon, you just get your order and ship it out.
And the same for eBay, I'm guessing.
So for eBay, it's a bit different because you're some sort of a standalone payment. You use your own payment account, for example, PayPal connected with your eBay. Yeah. So if there is any problem with the payment, PayPal probably cover it up. So they have the PayPal seller protection, right? So if it's a fraud, if someone uses a PayPal account that were hacked and try to pay with it, PayPal will take care of that. But for example, if you go on WooCommerce or BigCommerce, if you're talking about Shopify, you're not covered. You have a merchant account that could be suspended. You have you're gonna lose a lot of money because of those chargebacks. You're gonna get fees, and you can be penalized from opening new merchant account if you're not handling chargeback and fraud and scaling up.
Okay. So on places like eBay and Amazon, we have some sort of protection because we're using those marketplaces and they can handle it for us. By the way, I have an example here that I can share, and this just happened a couple of days ago. So I had a dispute on my eBay account, and one of the reason for that was something with the buyer's payment institution. He says that he didn't authorize the transaction or something like that. Yeah. And the case just remained open on eBay for maybe even a couple of months, for a really long time. Now eBay checks you as the seller. They want to make sure that that the item did get delivered to the address, and that the item matches the description and so forth. And after that, eBay pretty much backs you up. So I just got this email a couple of months after this case has been open. So it says here, "Hi, Liran, the buyer's payment institution sided with the buyer. The good news is that you're protected from this dispute under eBay seller protection policy. We won't deduct the dispute amount from your funds. You're not required to take any action at this time." So it is nice to have that level of that layer of protection. But if we're not selling on places that make it easy for you, like eBay or Amazon, that can help you out with it and even side with you, if they see that you did everything correct, they're going to take it upon themselves. But there are other marketplaces, like you mentioned, WooCommerce, Wix, Shopify, where it's all on you. It's all on the seller. And if we don't know how to deal with it, we're going to have to simply send all of the money back, and there won't be that much to do about it, right?
That's right. So there are different fraud solutions you can use, but eventually, yeah, when you're selling in marketplace, you're paying commission for the advertising they do for you, for those type of payment services they do for you, and they protect you. Shopify have made they released Shopify editions where they release tons of features and products. One of them is Shopify Protect. If you use Shopify payments, you're probably going to have some sort of protection from fraud. So if a fraud case will be open against you as a chargeback, and Shopify has some sort of insured that transaction, so you won't be responsible for those fees. They will return the money to you because they guarantee that transaction. But on the other hand, there are many transactions they do not guarantee, and they become fraud, because their algorithm didn't recognize, or because those fraudsters are real smart. So yeah, there are different.
So there's no black and white answer. It's not. It's like it can sometimes fall in the middle, and sometimes it does require us to intervene and take action.
That's right.
Whether we have protection. If we don't have protection, then of course we have to intervene. Is there any chargeback fee that a buyer or a seller needs to pay when there is a chargeback dispute?
Definitely. So recently, we've been discussed with one of the big brands that interested to work with us, and they were actually saying they're paying $50. $50 chargeback fee. So usually, when you open a merchant account, you will be paying between $15 to $20 a chargeback fee, just a chargeback fee, without the related costs.
Whether we won, whether it's our fault, not our fault, whether we won or lost, we're still going to have to pay.
No matter what happened, you're going to pay $15 as a standard fee. But there is a merchant that we just discussed about. They get like thousands of chargebacks every month, and they pay $50 on the chargeback fee itself alone. And the sale, you won't believe that. The sale is $30. So once they receive the chargeback, it's like almost 2 times higher than the actual revenue they just lost.
Right, and that's just revenue. It's not even profit.
Yeah. That's right.
And for thousands of transactions, I'm guessing they have tens of thousands of transactions if they have thousands of dispute requests. But
That's
either
right.
way, it eats up from
Brand.
your profit if your fee is more than the transaction price, which is not even your profit. So yeah, this definitely needs an answer. This is a gray field area where us merchants can really pay a hefty price, especially once we start to scale our business. And the more transactions we make, the more transactions we have, the more dispute and chargeback requests we will also have. It comes with the territory, and there's not too much we can do about it. But okay, let's continue. This is getting interesting. So there is a fee for buyers and sellers. Wait, for sellers we talked about. What about the buyers themselves?
The buyers doesn't have any fee. It's a service that their card membership just provide them. Visa, MasterCard, American Express, PayPal. Also, PayPal just released a new fee. They charge $15 on every dispute that is open.
From the
It's
seller,
not even
from the
a
merchant.
chargeback. Yeah, it's a way of making a lot of money for them. They're gonna make just from that feature billions of dollars. Just from that
Yeah,
feature,
it's a way for them to recover the losses, the money that they have to refund the buyers. So it's their way of dealing with it.
and again, it's on the merchant responsibility to pay that.
Okay. So chargebacks are not good for merchants. We can already pretty much cover that. Hello, by the way, to everyone who's joining the live Q&A right now. We're having a session right here on chargebacks, disputes, and the best way to put up with it, because what can we do? It is a part of the business. And if you want to maximize your profitability, especially in the long run, this is something that you have to know. Okay, so let's continue. So we understand that we as merchants pay a hefty price for every time we get a chargeback dispute, every time we get a chargeback request, whether we are in the wrong or in the right. Now let's see what actions we can take to deal with that. So what actions can we take to prevent chargebacks, and what actions can we take to resolve these chargeback requests?
So, if you don't mind, Liran, I just want to share some insight with the viewers and listeners.
Of course.
I did prepare some more information in our presentation here, and there is a way to boost your profits without actually increasing your marketing budget, just by using your current revenue, not leaving money on the table. And by doing that, you should be able to recover more funds and prevent fraud if you ever had it. So first of all, there are many opportunities areas. You can go on marketing and automation using Klaviyo as a email sequences services, and Alloy automation, which provides you automated way to connect between different apps that you use and automate your entire e-commerce store. You can use different upselling technologies like reconvert or subscription, adding additional lifetime value for customers using recharge, for example. On the area of the business value and the most profit efficiency, you will see that fraud prevention will always be there, because it's simply your revenue that stands there. After you work hard to bring the customers, after you work hard to ship the orders and to fulfill everything you needed, import products, and if you do drop shipping, so you actually connect with the supplier, make sure it delivered to the customer. Sometimes you white label it, and then you lose the sale. So you need to prevent fraud using Xeon, for example, or Riskified, Signify, different companies that insure your transaction from fraud. Xeon specifically doesn't provide insurance, but they provide you a score where your transaction can actually be safe to ship. So they let you know that it's okay. The most important in those companies is to make sure you have less false declines and more approval. So they need to be very accurate in their algorithm. And then to cover 360 degree your chargebacks and fraud, you can use Chargeflow, for example, or different type of services that provide chargeback mitigation solution. And what this will do, it will help you mitigate the chargeback after it happens. So you'll increase your chances of winning that chargeback by partnering up with different fraud solutions as well with chargeback mitigations. Making marketing, remarketing in TikTok and Outbrain can actually increase your value, and that's another way to do that. Of course, you need to put some budgets there, but you already bring the customer in. He might be purchased, so you want to cross-sell it, or you want to upsell it, or you want to make sure that the customer who abandoned the cart will get back to you. So you might want to use TikTok and different type of content marketing strategies. I want to talk about the actual cost of chargeback. So when you receive a chargeback, you're actually losing 2.4 times higher than the revenue you earned. So it caused a $240 loss on every $100 of every revenue earned. It happens because all of your revenue is gone. And then if you fulfill and ship the order, you lose it as well. Operation costs to do all of that. You have paid marketing costs to get the customer acquisition. And then you have a chargeback fee of a $15, $20. And then additionally, you lost the product, processing fees, and import. So it's a really, really big problem when you look at it this way. When you look at it in your card statement, I mean, in your merchant services statement, you just see a chargeback fee, and that's it. They don't tell you how much revenue you lose, and they don't know how much operation-wise you have been losing on the long term. One of our customers, we've been doing a case study with them, and we've been able to increase their net profit by 8.5% within 60 days, just by implementing Chargeflow. Chargeflow has automated their chargebacks, and this actually takes them in a position where their customer support representative that were dealing with that every day shouldn't be doing it anymore. And they was actually creating reports where they need to report their manager with statistics. This takes them another 50 hours a month to do that. They saved $45,000 a year.
Wow.
And their win rate has been increased within 2 times more, just within 60 days. So sky's the limit. And this just by implementing a solution that you will not do anything for it. It will be hands-off solution, and there is nothing else you have to do. The impact of chargeback on your store or merchant service could be high. You could get a suspension if you go above 1%. Your merchant account will be in bad standing if you won't respond to those chargebacks, and you will be leaving money on the table. The business will be stressed when you try to scale up, and you won't handle those chargebacks because you'll see that more and more money is leaving on the table. If you had an issue with your shipping and delivery, for example, in the COVID, many different merchants has issues with logistics. Many chargebacks was open due to that, and it even was not exceeding the timeline that the merchant has set. Yet there were delays, and not always the consumer can understand that. So the first thing they do is to open a chargeback. Some of those customers don't have the patience to wait, and then it's a hurting problem for the business.
So even if we have an item, we shipped it out, it's on the way, and a customer simply loses patience or is not able to track their order because maybe you didn't upload tracking information, maybe your tracking information is not readable, or maybe the customer simply doesn't know how to track with the tracking number that you provided.
Right.
And this is just one of the many reasons why they would open up a chargeback. And now we have to deal with it when the product is already on the way. We already paid for the product, we paid for the shipping, we paid for the customer acquisition, and now we need to deal with it.
That's right. And then the customer sometimes can order something that is time sensitive. For example, you have a wedding, you want to get a new shirt, and then you order that shirt. The business did everything it can to ship it as soon as possible, but it never guaranteed for that. It didn't arrive on time for that wedding, and then the customer don't want that back. So you want to I'm sorry, so we want to ship it back to the merchant. The merchant just, they say, okay, so let's wait for the item to deliver to you and then ship it back to us. Sometimes the policy doesn't work for them, so they just charge back the transaction. And then there is nothing the merchant can do except mitigating that chargeback and providing as much evidence as they can to make sure they will win it. So I want to present you something we've been working on over the past 2 years. We've been an e-commerce entrepreneurs and actually experienced over 1,000 chargebacks every month. We started as dropshipping at the age of 14, so it's like 16 years back. I just turned 30. So actually, we've been doing e-commerce for a long time, and chargeback always was there. But when you scale up, it's a big problem because it will always be there. And as a business owner, I always want to optimize my business and make sure that I don't just put people to work on a labor job where they just need to do a repeatable task. I did use the people that work for me as customer support representative, but the rest of the business was automated. And I believe that this is how it should be working in today's e-commerce. So after experiencing those thousands of chargebacks, we thought about using some sort of solution. We start looking out at the market, and we saw that every one of them are offering manual services, different type of services that, first of all, they don't have high submission rate on those chargebacks. They can miss the deadline because every chargeback have a deadline. And just because, human can make a lot of errors sometimes, and you don't have visibility over the process. You have no idea what's going on. There is no dashboard you can log in. They set you up on a contract. They set you up on a monthly fee or a per response fee that were not working for us in any way. I don't like commitment. I don't like to commit for 2 years for a service that I don't know what's going on with the business next year, So I want to make sure that I have everything I need. So we just saw this gap in the market, and we set ourselves a mission to mitigate this fraud, those chargebacks that eliminating merchants from scaling up their business and causing $200 billion of loss every year. And that's the true cost of chargebacks. So we have launched Chargeflow. Over the past 6 months, we've seen exponential growth in merchant and great feedback. We've launched Chargeflow built on Shopify as the first platform, but today we support more e-commerce platforms and more payment processors. We support PayPal, we support Stripe, Shopify Payments, Klarna, all the buy now, pay later platforms, Authorize.net, Braintree, different type of payment processor that I didn't mention. The integration is very easy. You just plug and play it within one click. We use the data from your store, from the transaction, from the dispute, and we create a comprehensive response. We integrate with your mailbox, with a different type of support SaaS that you use today to gain the customer evidence and communication, so we can create that comprehensive response. We analyze the response before they send, and we also optimize it later after we receive the result, if it's a won, if it's a loss. Today, we know that every merchant that sign up with Chargeflow can triple their win rate and quadruple it even. And this caused in a very high increase of their net profit. The next thing is that you win the chargeback, you don't have to handle them, and that's it. I think that's the most important part. You can just do what you know best, build your business, build your brand, build your product, create different type of strategies, deal with your marketing, grow your business while we take care of your chargebacks.
Okay, so I'm just going to stop you just for a second. For those of you who have just joined this live Q&A, this live session is all about chargebacks and how to deal with disputes and chargeback requests. So if you have experience in this field, if you're running your e-commerce businesses and you're getting these chargeback disputes, or if you're just curious about starting an e-commerce business, and this is of course one of the fields that you have to know about, let us know what questions you have in the chat below, and we're going to address it very, very soon. So from what I understand so far, Chargeback is an automated solution where you can, where it is a service provider, it is a SaaS, software as a service that simply helps you deal with chargebacks in an automated fashion. We all love business automation. We know that automation helps us scale, not just with chargebacks, but with other things like importing products and automating your orders and handling customer service and price and stock monitoring and things like that. We all know that without automation, it is very, very difficult to scale. And of course, you can even run an e-commerce business without any tools, without any software, and do everything manually. But we all know how far we can get when we're doing everything manually. So that is why we have automation solutions. And for chargebacks, it is not a subject that many people really want to dive deep into when they start an e-commerce business, because they see it as a bad thing, as a negative thing, and people just kind of like to think about only the positives. Oh, I want to sell these items, I want to make my profits, and that's what's important. But once again, this is a part of the business, and with automation, this is how we are definitely going to be able to maximize our profits and minimize our losses. So Ariel, go on. And once again, guys, any questions you have, drop them in the chat below. We're going to address them soon. I see everyone who's been writing so far. Mayor, I see you asking questions about PayPal, and Tracy, you too. So once again, guys, any question you have, let us know. We're going to address it soon. Ariel, you can continue.
Yeah, so just to point one thing, Chargeflow is really fully automated solution. So the merchant doesn't have to do anything. The only thing they need to do is to log in and just check on the chargebacks to see the statistics of their business, to see why they're getting many product not received chargebacks, and then mitigate it as well in a way. But we really do provide this solution as a service. So it's more than a solution, than a SaaS of a software as a service, because
Right.
we do everything for them. They don't have to use the system to actually mitigate those chargebacks. Once they install it, the moment later we started automating their chargebacks. They don't have to do anything, and that's the beauty about it, because we knew it's not something that the merchant want to use it. They don't want to actually use a software to handle chargebacks. They want that to be done by itself. So, for example, I don't like to do the laundry in my home, and if there is any automation doing it for me, it was the best thing. No, I'm
You
kidding.
can get a wife. No, I'm kidding.
So actually, I do have, but
Yeah, me too. I'm still doing my own
pregnant,
laundry.
pregnant, you need to help. So
Yeah.
there's nothing else that you can use currently. Maybe there is a robot that is under development. I believe it will. But yeah, just one thing we haven't mentioned: Chargeflow is actually success-based pricing. So we do not charge any monthly or minimum fees. We don't charge them on a contract basis. They can leave at any time. And then the true cost is only 20% out of a one transaction. So if we helped you recover a chargeback, the only cost you will pay is 20% out of that transaction. If a transaction has been lost, we won't charge you for that. And it's so easy.
Okay, so we're right, and I from what I can see here, we also have a free trial, and even like you said, so if we have these cases, if I sign up right now with Chargeflow and I connect my Shopify account with it, and your service notices dispute requests that I'm getting right now, people want their money back, Chargeflow is already gonna handle this business for me as the service provider, and it requires minimal intervention from my side, or maybe no intervention at all. And once we get an answer from Chargeflow, whether we won or lost, if we lost, we owe nothing. If we won, we owe 20% of the transaction, from what I understand.
Yeah, we charge their actual account, so we don't get involved in the process of getting that money back from the bank. The money will reverse on its own, and we will only charge their credit card or their Shopify account on that fee of 20%.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good, by the way. People usually don't like to pay before they get paid themselves. And one of the best parts about running an e-commerce or even a dropshipping business is that this business model actually allows you to make sales and minimize your expenses before you actually start profiting, and then you use your profits to pay for those expenses, and of course withdraw to your bank because you're making profits. So I think it is a great model to work with. So we already understand what Chargeflow is, and we have a basic understanding of how it works, and we know that it's completely automated for us. We don't really need to do anything besides sign up and synchronize our stores. Does Chargeflow guarantee to recover all of our chargebacks and disputes? What is our win-loss ratio here?
So it depends on the merchant, on the vertical, on what they sell, and it depends on the service they provide, if it's a service. So it varies. We do know that the current chargeback rate that they win once they sign up, we can double, triple, and quadruple it. So even if they have good results, we can improve it always. Chargeflow averaging at 60 to 80% win rate for its merchants. So it's very high considering the industry and considering statistics that merchant can only recover itself 12% out of those chargebacks.
Okay, so it really depends on a scenario. It really depends on the reason of the chargeback and what really happened there in the background. But at the end of the day, there is you doing it by yourself as a merchant, and there is allowing Chargeflow automation to handle your disputes and requests, which greatly increases the chances to win and not lose those cases, and of course minimize your losses. And only then, when we win these cases, do we have to actually pay Chargeflow something. So so it always makes sense. And like I mentioned before, you can easily try before you buy, because you're not buying anything until you actually win a case.
That's right. And it's a win-win, right?
Right. And what platforms, we pretty much talked about this, but I understand that Shopify works with it. Can you name all the platforms that can currently sync with Chargeflow?
So currently, at the moment, they can install right away and integrate with their Shopify store. If they'd like to use different platforms, they can reach out to us and we'll make that integration happen for them. So we've been able to actually onboard them using their payment processor account right away. When it comes to different type of platforms, so Chargeflow has a long integration roadmap where we will be supporting every type of e-commerce platform out there, as well any type of payment platform out there. So it just takes a bit of a time to develop all those integrations, but eventually we'll reach out to everyone and we'll have the solution in place.
Okay, I think the more platforms, the better, because people are selling, of course, on multiple platforms, and this is a situation that is multi-plat, like it's happening in all platforms, these chargeback disputes. So of course, the more the merrier. So mainly right now it's for Shopify users, which there are more than enough of them. And and we understand how much Chargeflow costs. As you mentioned, there is no monthly subscription. You only pay once. Chargeflow actually helps you win cases, which is very convenient. Is Chargeflow secure? Can we feel safe running it with our businesses?
Definitely.
And synchronizing it with our stores. And some people are weary of these things. So would you consider it as a safe and secure thing to add to your business?
So Chargeflow is on a way to receive its SOC 2 compliance certificate, and we actually implemented all SOC 2 controllers today. It means that Chargeflow is very much secured. All of our databases sits on an encrypted cloud-based locations. We care about our customers. We care about the data. We're in the fintech industry, and we know that it is very important. Customer can be safe using Chargeflow.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, there's no doubt that security is one of the top things that people are thinking about today when, when they run a business, when they create a business, when they have to share their business with others. So yeah, okay, it's good to know. Can you show a live example of how Chargeback works once we sign up? Is there a way to show it?
So I don't think I can share screen here, but people
Right.
just can go
Right.
on
Yeah.
into our website. There is a header where it will open up right away, and they can see how our system works. There is even animation who show how we create the evidence. There is a video where it show them how we mitigate it. So everything is in our homepage. So they can just go online on chargeflow.io and see it there right away. Also,
Yeah,
they
let
can
me
just
just
install
open
Chargeflow
up a
on their store.
let me just
I
open
wanted
up a
to
share
ask,
screen.
I wanted to ask the listeners if they see added value in adding Chargeflow into eBay Marketplace. Do you guys see you guys
Okay, so
would
there you
love?
go, guys. We have a question. Do you
Yeah.
see Chargeflow as something that you would also like to have on eBay? Even though we know that eBay does handle some of these disputes, some of these dispute requests, but I also know of some cases where you as the seller did everything right and eBay still will deduct it from you anyway. My personal example that I gave in the beginning of this live doesn't show that example, but I do have examples of it working the other way. So, do you guys see Chargeflow as something that you would also like to see on eBay? Let us know in the chat below. And Ariel, if there's anything you would like to add before we move on to the questions, now is the time. Otherwise, we'll just move on to the questions.
I think I added a lot of details here, and yeah, let's hear what they think.
Okay, so for anyone who asked questions in the live chat, we're going to address it right now. Anyone who didn't get the chance to do it, now is your last few minutes. One more thing before we start with the chat, I want to share a link, and let me just write. This link will grant you, how much was it, Ariel?
It's $250 in chargeback credits, where they will have that free trial to use Chargeflow and not even pay for those first chargebacks.
Okay, so use this sign up link to get a $250 bonus on your chargebacks from Chargeflow. So this means that I'm going to sign up with this link right now. It doesn't cost me any money. I'm going to connect it with my Shopify store. And if I get a chargeback request, Chargeflow will handle it for me. And up until $250, I won't have to owe Chargeflow. Once, of course, I exceed that limit from the cases that I won, then, of course, I will have to start paying.
That's right.
Okay. So thank you for that. And this is exclusive for anyone who is in this live Q&A. I left it in the chat box, and I'm going to also leave it in the video description. But if you are not watching this video, then you will not see the link, because once again, it is exclusive only to you guys. So thank you for being here. Thank you for listening, and keep your curiosity up. This is a very, very important topic. And when you start to scale your e-commerce business, you really notice how important it is, and you don't want to wait until it's too late. Okay, so it doesn't cost any money to start. It doesn't cost any money to lose. It only costs money to win, and it will cost you much, much less than if you would have lost that case without using Chargeflow. Okay, so we're going to start with the live chat Q&A questions. So I'm going to start from the top. The things that have to do with AutoDS and the system. I see you there, Sarah. I will answer you really quickly, because that is not the point of these live Q&As. I can see that you're from Istanbul, from Turkey, and you want your buyers in Australia or Germany if it is not against eBay rules. So no, it's not against eBay rules. You can dropship from and to wherever you want. Just make sure that you are verified the right way on eBay and on Payoneer. You have to have the right information and the same information. So they want to make sure that you are the store owner. Okay, let's continue. Is dropshipping from Amazon or Etsy doesn't make problems with this supplier's problems? Using who as a supplier, Yasir? I don't really understand your question. Tell me, who is the supplier, who is the selling channel? Sarah, yes, I answered your question. I'm running through this really fast, guys, because that is not the point of this live. I'm new to AutoDS, my first order setting for 500. Jip, please open up a live chat support ticket. We have a ticket system for that. So I'm going to continue with the questions. Why no setting options on mobile web browser? Support tickets. Why no mobile app? Open up a support ticket. Okay, let's continue. Hello, Hitman. I'm not skipping any questions. I'm just going one by one. So I'm not previewing before I show it. Why my automatic account you're not successful yet? I'm not sure. Please open up, guys. Anything that has to do with technical things with the system, features that are working or not working, just open up support tickets. I am not technical support, but I will help you with your dropshipping journey. Hello, Barney. Okay, this was my chat. Let's continue. What do you do when PayPal holds my money? Okay, Mayor.
So when PayPal hold the money, it can happen for various reasons. It might be because the account has not been activated, so you need to send them information. Everything is located in the resolution center, where you can actually see what PayPal wants from you, what information they need from you. The best thing to do is to actually synchronize your tracking numbers with your orders once you fulfill them, and then they can see that you're actually proactively working with them. Additionally, if you have any open disputes, usually the main reason accounts being suspended in PayPal is because of chargebacks. So if you over the limit of 10%, for example, they will start making a lot of problem for you. They can suffer up to 5%, which is 5 times more than what Visa, MasterCard, and American Express allows. They allow up to 1%, and then anything above that, they start giving you a lot of fees. So yeah, you should address everything, and it's in your resolution center in PayPal.
Okay, so Mayor, log into PayPal, go to your resolution center, see the reason why they're holding your funds. They should usually give you the answer there, as Ariel suggested. And also keep in mind, new PayPal accounts usually have their funds on hold for the first few transactions until PayPal sees that you are shipping it out. They learned it the hard way from eBay when they used to have the contract with eBay before it ended a few months ago. So eBay also wants you to start really slow. They look at you with a magnifying glass in the beginning. And of course, if you get chargebacks, if you get disputes, especially when it's from the start, when your seller account is not even half a year old, then you will have to deal with those chargebacks the right way. If you start losing chargebacks, especially from the start, you will find your account banned sooner or later. And this is not something that we're looking for. So if it is a new seller account, take it slowly, be cautious, and of course, prevent chargebacks and deal with them the right way. Okay, let's continue. Will Chargeflow work with PayPal in the United Kingdom?
Definitely. Chargeflow works with any PayPal account out there, including PayFlow and PayPal Pro. So we support each and every PayPal account.
Okay, so yes, Tracy, it supports it. And don't forget to use the link, okay, if you want to really save more money than you would if you wouldn't have watched this live. How do you suggest working around your selling limit? My eBay account was pretty good, top rated seller, but my selling limit was only 100K. I've only just started. I'm only at 400 listings and at 100K. Okay, it is not a chargeback question, but working around your selling limit, I don't really understand the reason. You're saying that your selling limit is 100K, so you have 100,000 listings. You have plenty of money to earn with 100,000 listings. I've only started. I'm only at 400 listings and at 100K. Oh, you mean 100K in money and 400 listings. Okay, you need to continue upgrading your limits. 400 listings is nice. You will make some profit, but it's not enough on eBay. So continue upgrading your limits. Just simply get eBay on the phone. Let them know that you want to increase your limits. Go to autods.com/blog, search for the word limits, and we have a great article with an embedded video inside on all of the ways you can contact eBay and the best methods to use so that they will approve your limits increase. Okay, let's continue. I've sold 7 items in my first week. I don't know if it's good or not. Yeah, 7 items on your first week is good, Earl. You're on to a good start. It sounds like your product research is on point. Continue with it and add more products that are similar to those that are selling while continuing to test the market with new categories and new niches. I'm sorry, guys, that is not the point of this live, so I'm going to continue. You need to fix shipping issue 4 fulfilled by AutoDS. For me, it works fine, Jip, but just open up support tickets for whatever you need help with. I think that pretty much wraps it up for this session. Sarah, thank you for all your precious info, Ariel. You got a nice compliment there from Sarah. Thank you, Sarah. Let's see if we have any more questions. Personal account on eBay under your name, but the Payoneer account is for a friend. Yeah, so Sarah, like I mentioned, you want the information to be the same. If eBay sees that your information is different from Payoneer, it's 2 different people, then they will at least temporarily suspend your account to get you on the phone and just to try to understand who is the actual owner of this account. And you will probably have to provide some documents for verification. Okay, guys, this pretty much wraps it up. I see that there are no more questions regarding our chargebacks, but you can continue asking them after this live is over, because you know that this live will continue being on our YouTube channel. You can continue asking questions there. And of course, we will see it even a week from today, even a month from today, and we will continue answering you guys. I'm going to leave the link for Chargeflow. Once again, guys, membership does not cost any money. And if you sign up with Chargeflow and you're not able to win a case, Chargeflow is not going to charge you, even though they put their time and effort on it. But they do have a very, very high success rate, much higher, I would guess, than what you would get if you would do it manually. So it doesn't cost any money to try. And only if you win a case, you will have to pay them the 20%, but you will not pay them the first $250 if you use the link in the live chat that I left already in the chat, and of course in the video description. Guys, thank you for joining this live Q&A. Ariel, is there anything that you would like to finish off with?
Thank you, everyone, for watching, listening. I appreciate it, Liran.